Mic check 1 2. It's the Y2K collector, and I'm here to tell you you're better off getting a job. In 2024, the pipe dream of being a full-time reseller has passed. That ship has sailed, and hopefully, those of you who think you can make a full-time career out of this have really let that dream go, because in most cases, it is not a reality for a few reasons, and I'll go over maybe 2 to 3 of them. The first reason is that it's saturated. The industry is saturated. The profession is saturated. Everyone's trying to do it. The second reason is that maintaining inventory is going to be your biggest challenge. And at this stage of the game, that is almost a near insurmountable challenge when it comes to having consistent enough inventory to be able to sustain a business that produces enough income for you to be able to sustain yourself. And I'm not even talking about someone who has a family. I'm just talking about an individual who has just basic bills, right? It's just not going to work. The third reason is because of something that I spoke about the other day, which is kind of some of the I guess, for lack of better terms, gatekeeping that you see happening at both GameStop as well as Goodwill and thrift stores. Now, I recently dropped a video the other day talking about some of the gatekeeping that we see out in the wild, and I've gotten a lot of comments from a lot of different folks, both folks who have experienced this when they've gone out game hunting, as well as former employees of Goodwill who have in fact confirmed some of our suspicions when it comes to what they do to ensure that they're getting top dollar for the games. So I think if you're considering trying to get into video games as a reseller in 2024, you might want to take a little bit of a reality check and read what's going on within the hobby and within the industry, because things have changed, and I don't foresee them going back in any way. I think the best thing that folks can do in this time is look for high quality games that are extremely cheap. Over this past weekend, I've been going through my own personal inventory. I've been leveraging things like GameEye, and I've been doing a little bit of eBay surfing just to see what, really good games, looking at the 360 as an example, what good games on the 360 are in the $5 to $10 range that I can still pick up here in 2024 to build a collection. You have a few. Some of them I have down here, including Sacred 2, Reckoning, Bayonetta, Rayman, and Alan Wake. Of course, you have the Ultimate Alliance and Forza pack, along with Tales of Vesperia. You also have all the Assassin's Creed games. All of these games are $10 and under, and you can start building a healthy collection of games that you can actually play if you're interested in collecting video games to play them. But if you're looking for games that you can turn around and flip, I really honestly think that ship has sailed. As I said the other day, the only real way that you can do that, right, is if you have a good amount of expendable income or disposable income, and you can make a large investment into inventory. Because if you look at all of the heavy hitters, all of the folks who are on YouTube who are making money doing that, they're investing a lot of money into inventory. And I'm not talking about going out and hitting up a bunch of yard sales in a weekend and buying, $80 worth of games. I'm talking about spending tens of thousands of dollars on a monthly basis buying up inventory so that they consistently list and post items across all of the different marketplaces that they sell games on, whether it be Whatnot, Amazon, OfferUp, Mercari, eBay, whatever it is they're doing. The biggest challenge is inventory. And I think a lot of people kind of sleep on how important that is. I saw, I think the next big thing that I've been seeing on YouTube is a lot of folks interviewing video game store owners. And I saw an interview the other day, and the game store owner was asked what advice they would give for anyone who's thinking about opening a game store. And what the owner said was that, the best thing that a person can do who's interested in opening a game store is to stockpile games. Just build up a strong stockpile of games. Just buy games and hoard them. He said you should literally buy games and throw them in a room and don't look at them. Stack and stack and stack and stack. Why? Because you're going to need inventory. Whenever you start a business, right? A lot of people who start businesses, they take out loans to get their business off the ground. And depending on whatever business it is that you're trying to start or build, that loan is going to go to obviously buy, whether it be supplies, whether it be pay employees, rent a space, whatever the case may be. If you're wanting to start in this business, that inventory, that startup money is going to go into your inventory. And I don't think that, obviously, I don't recommend taking out a loan to buy up a bunch of games in hopes that you can flip them. That would not be smart. But if you do have income, if you do have some funds, the best thing that you can do if you're really trying to get into the reselling game is to buy in bulk. You really have to start looking for people who are selling their collections and really buy the collections. And even that, pretty soon, even that is going to become a challenge, because the people who are already 2 and 3 steps ahead of the game when it comes to reselling have already come to this conclusion, which is why you have the bigger resellers creating apps to buy games. You have resellers who are buying entire game stores, right? Again, this takes tens of thousands of dollars. You have to already have the capital to start in this business, if it's something that you want to do. It can't be a hobby. It can't be something that you want to just try and do for fun and go on YouTube and say like, hey, I have a business. If the business is not making you enough money that will allow you to sustain yourself, to cover your bills, to cover your expenses, it's a hobby. That's really it. And like Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank says, he has to break it down to a lot of people who think they have a business, but really what they have is a hobby, because your business either is not making you any money or it's costing you money. And I think the goal for most folks who engage in retro game collecting, the goal for most of us is to break even. The goal for most of us who flip games, buy games, and sell games is to do it in a way where the hobby isn't costing us anything, or is costing us as little as possible. We're not necessarily trying to make money. We're not trying to build an empire. We're just trying to subsidize the cost of the games that we like to buy and play. So again, reality check here is get a job, right? If you want to make money, go get a job. You're better off putting 8 hours into a regular work day than putting 8 hours into driving around your city looking for, games and spending $80 on games that might be worth $150, because the $50 that you'll make after fees and taxes and all, or the 40 for that matter, $40 isn't going to do much for you. It might buy you a couple chicken bowls at Chipotle, maybe a couple frappuccinos from Starbucks, but when the big boy bills come in, that won't be enough to cut it. So just a little dose of reality, just a little quick wake-up call for many of those who might watch the channel, or maybe those of you who might watch other reseller channels. Just be smart, just be wise, have fun with this thing. Try not to take it too seriously. You don't have to make it a business just because you see someone else on the internet doing it. And again, if you think that you're going to be able to take advantage of Goodwills and GameStops, that ship has sailed as well. But let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you think reselling is still a viable business in 2024? I'm interested to know your thoughts. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.